Metadata is data about data. It's not readily visible to humans, but machines can see it and use it to help people find and organize information. Metadata plays a role in how search engines index web pages. But documents and images created on a PC have metadata, and content created on mobile devices does too. The same technology you use for directions can also be used to track your whereabouts. If you use a mobile device to share text, images, and video, metadata gets generated and attached to your message, which could disclose the exact location to your friends, definitely discloses the location to the developer of the app you're using, and most likely discloses your location to Apple or Google, which is responsible for the Android mobile operating system. Metadata can describe more than just photos. For example, while you can turn location services off on your mobile phone if you know how, tweets sent from most mobile devices are geotagged. Did you know a Google search on a mobile device will give you different results than the same search on a laptop? That's because with a mobile search, you have the ability to search for information based on location. Geodata also powers Twitter's search by zip code feature, and YouTube and Flickr offer search by location features as well. The controversial leaked National Security Agency PRISM program, it was discovered, logs the details of phone calls, such as the number called and the length and date of the call, but not the actual calls themselves, which is kind of like metadata because it's information about phone calls, but not the phone calls themselves. But given the uproar by the American people in response to learning about PRISM, it's also a good example of how data about content can be seen as an invasion of privacy. Perhaps the riskiest class of metadata you should know about when it comes to mobile security has to do with your whereabouts. There's a type of metadata called geodata, which is data about your whereabouts, and it can be used to pinpoint your location on a map with astonishing accuracy. When you're connected to the internet on a mobile device via cellular, your location is most likely discovered via global satellite positioning, or GPS, which is accurate down to 1 to 2 meters, or Wi-Fi triangulation, which is accurate to around 10 meters. Some mobile apps generate geodata and attach it to the content you generate on your mobile device. Camera apps, for example, encode the time, date, and location where a photo was taken, unless you turn those settings off. If you don't turn those settings off, you'll be disclosing the whereabouts of your home or your child's school when you take a picture at your residence or Instagram a photo at the school play. Regardless of the operating system, you can prevent photo apps from inadvertently disclosing the location where a photo was taken by going to your settings, selecting the privacy icon if it's an iPhone, and then location services, or by going directly to the location services option in the settings menu if it's an Android. If you switch location services for an app off, that means the app won't attach geographic coordinates to the information you share, but it doesn't mean the app or mobile operating system provider won't have access to that information. Apple, Android, and many app developers collect your name, mailing address, phone number, email address, contact preferences, credit card information, occupation, language, zip code, area code, unique device identifier, location and time zone, whether you've got the location services set to on or off. They use that information for economic gain. So be aware that whether you publish geodata or not, just by carrying a smartphone, you're disclosing your location, and that information may be shared by your mobile phone carrier with law enforcement agencies. The Patriot Act, which was signed into law by President George W. Bush in 2001 in response to the terrorist attacks of 9/11, made it easier for law enforcement agencies to gather intelligence inside the U.S. In 2011, President Barack Obama extended key provisions of the Patriot Act through 2014. Under the Patriot Act, law enforcement agencies have the permission to search telephone, email, and financial records without a court order. Since Apple and Google have access to the metadata, and your wireless carrier has access to the actual content itself, it's safe to assume that no digital communication should ever be considered 100% private.